Even with only 20% of the cards known, the new expansion pack is definitely going to lead to quite a bit of a meta shift. But some decks that dominated before could become even more overpowered. Which ones will have the most impact on the meta? Let's dive right in and go over these new decks. Hey guys, IDGT here with a first look at Mythical Island Day 1 decks. Psychic and Water decks seem to continue to grow in power. They'll also still be some of the top types judging from what was teased so far. While Mew EX could be the best new card coming, our new variation of Vaporeon could be just as good and game-changing. Just a quick thank you for all the support too. We really appreciate it. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, we'd love it if you can. Tauros could be the ultimate meta counter. This card alone could be our answer to Mew EX dominance. While both are in the active, it looks like Mew is only doing 40 damage to Tauros because it's not an EX. On the flip side, pair Tauros with Giovanni and its fighting tackle is taking out Mew EX in one hit, and Tauros takes the same amount of energy to get going as Mew. Plugging Tauros into the Coughing Wheezing deck, we feel will give great team synergy. This deck also allows you to build Tauros very early on, if you wish to skip doing damage with Coughing and Wheezing. And another variation would be to run the Tauros card in the Muck deck for additional damage and deck options. You can also remove 1 or 2 Giovanni and put an X speed or 2 in there, just in case you need to retreat Tauros because of a bad lead or if you want to save it. Our next card is the one everyone's excited about. Mew EX can really fit into countless decks. It makes the most sense going into an already powerful deck like Mewtwo or in place of it. With Gardevoir, this deck will most likely dominate the meta. But unlike Mewtwo EX, it doesn't necessarily depend on Gardevoir to get up and keep going. Genome hacking only needs 3 energy, so it won't need any additional each turn to keep going like Mewtwo. You can potentially build an additional Mew EX on the bench, or a Mewtwo EX. This deck should be quite versatile, and most likely one of the most dominant based on what we've seen so far. The new version of Vaporeon is an amazing addition, and will make the Articuno Starmie deck even more versatile. We know this deck is already quite annoying and Misty is a controversial card. But with Vaporeon's washout being able to move energy around every turn, decks won't lean on Misty as much to pump out the quick and consistent damage. The Vaporeon card will also help Blastoise, being able to do its biggest potential damage and to do it more consistently. This card could also help some of the lesser-used decks too. Zero Retreat Starmie EX paired with Blastoise EX could become a solid deck with the help of Vaporeon. The deck we have here is not running any retreat cards because the idea is to keep Starmie in the active spot until Blastoise is ready. As an alternative, if you wish to run any X-Speed or Leaf supporters, or even potions, you can run 1 Eevee and 1 Vaporeon and fill in the rest with what you want. We know the Aerodactyl EX card is another that looks interesting. It should be a welcomed addition to fighting decks. We see it working great with Marowak EX. Aerodactyl will help this deck with its horrible need for flip RNG. The only downside we see is Primeval Law only blocks players from stage building in the active spot, which is typically not something that players do. In general, a basic EX or card that is a throwaway sits in the active while building on your bench. So, this card's ability will only help out if your opponent starts with a bad draw or needs to evolve to clear an effect. But 80 damage off of 2 energy is nothing to sleep on. Aerodactyl EX will certainly make the rounds on fighting decks. There's no need to run a Leaf supporter card in this one since all of the card's retreat cost is 1 energy. If you do prefer an X speed, you can put in place of a Giovanni or Sabrina. Finally, just want to touch on the Leaf Trainer card. As you can see, this supporter card looks to take the place of X speed in a lot of decks, because it reduces the cost of up to 2 energy for a retreat. Just note, it's not necessarily a complete replacement, as some decks require less retreat costs, and we can only play 1 supporter card per turn. So with some decks, and in some instances, Leaf might not be a good choice. There you have it, guys. What do you think of these decks? What Mythical Island cards are you looking forward to? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinion. We're really excited to see the other 80% of the expansion pack, and we'll have extensive content for you as soon as it releases. Thanks for watching and see you real soon with a first look at all the new cards.